on in.
Yeah.
Top of the list.
Top of the list.
Man, we got the Eagles, bro.
Black
They played the
Eagles, y'all.
Broncos.
Yes, they did.
They took that L.
They
They took
did.
it on the chin.
You know, they did take that. They took that L on the chin. I tell you this. I do like the fact they try to open up the offense a little bit, and I know it's because AJ
They're trying to
Brown.
satisfy.
They're trying to satisfy the receivers. They're trying to satisfy the passing game, specifically your boy AJ Brown. And so I'm glad that he got a lot of targets to him because the thing is, no matter how great of a defensive back Patrick Surtain is, and you see how he guarded him like the whole time. No matter how good of a defensive back Patrick Surtain is, you still have a superstar in AJ Brown, and you have to find ways to get him the football. A couple times it worked. Many a times it didn't, but that's to be expected whenever you're going one-on-one coverage every single time, and it's pretty much a 50-50 ball every single time. A lot of times you would want to come down to him, but a lot of times it didn't. But I like the fact that Saquon Barkley got loose because Jalen Hurts kept airing it out to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. And he said, you know what? We're going to throw it out there to Saquon too. Had a nice little touchdown right there, about 40 yards. Really looked good and stuff. But I tell you one thing.
People forget Saquon can do that.
Man, for real. He's a true all-purpose back, isn't he? He really is. He the truth with it. And I was like, that could be the spark that they needed going forward. It may have been a loss for them, but it may be a win later on in the future because they're trying to actually open up their offense. But you know, hey, shout out to Broncos, man. Broncos played a hell of a game. Sean Payton is still Sean Payton from New Orleans when it comes to, hey, I can get creative with what I have, and I can maximize our team.
Right.
And he did that.
Right.
So their defense looks good, though.
Man, you know one thing I remember about New Orleans? Was anytime you play New Orleans at home, you better watch out for that defense.
Yeah.
You know, that was under Sean Payton. And so one thing I saw with the Broncos is they're a defensive focused team. Okay, so they're not going to let the game get too far out of hand. But kudos to the Broncos. I like what they're doing. Bo Nix is a competitor. He never really lays down, no matter how much adversity he goes through.
He's a warrior.
They got some weapons. You got Sutton out there. You got T. Franklin out there. You got Mims out there. You know what I'm saying? You got some weapons. And the defense plays as a unit. But slow down. Slow down. You know, because all the headlines are, oh, the Eagles are losing their identity. Slow down. Slow down. If you ever really played this game, you know how it is. You looking at that schedule, you know how hard it is to stay in a championship mentality year after year, game after game. You know how much energy it takes to stay dialed in and focused game after game, year after year. Championship mentality. It takes a lot of energy and effort. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of time away from your family. It takes a lot of time maybe not kicking it as hard. And so when you're looking at that schedule and you're like, okay, we really got to lock in for bam, 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 bam. You think for a minute, like, okay, we got bam, bam next week. Like, whew, all right. I can take a little breather. Okay, whew, we can take a little breather this week. We got we got the Bronx coming in town. A little underestimation, you feel me? Meanwhile, the Broncos are over there like, we got the reigning champs in town.
Yeah.
They going to sleep early. They studying film extra long. They like, hey, nah, fam, I'm going to go over here. I can't be distracted, right? So they locking in for their championship game to really, measure their chops against the reigning champs. And the reigning champs are probably trying to take that opportunity like, hey, man, we got what's name them next week, man. This week, let's go ahead. We might actually stay up a little later. You know what I mean? They might smoke that cigar, have that extra glass of wine.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They're like, okay, let's just go ahead. And then you get in the game, and it's close. And then you're like, okay, they are who we thought they are. We mess around, get up. All right, man, let's go ahead and cash it on in. Meanwhile, the Bronx over there digging deep. They in the locker room. Hey, we can still win it, baby. They're over there really giving you their maximum effort and potential. Meanwhile, you might be on the other side like, all right, man, let's just hurry up and get through this Sunday so we can go ahead and get to rest and recovery.
Yeah.
Right? They're looking at the season. Broncos might be looking at the game. Eagles are looking at the season, right? And so, I mean, when you see things like the Eagles take an L, that's a little bit uncharacteristic. It's like, when KC takes an L that's uncharacteristic, easy. Chill. Bills take an L that's uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
Chill. Not taking anything away from the Broncos. They played a good game. I think they are underestimated, and I think people need to actually watch out for them. What about them Bills, though?
Man,
Concerned about them Bills taking that L?
nah, not really. Sometimes it happens in these games. So with the Bills and the Patriots, sometimes teams have your number in that aspect. But great teams right now. Before we get over the hump of Week 8, because I believe this is Week 5.
Yep.
Before we get over the hump of Week 8, great teams are trying to figure out what truly works.
Great
So
point.
and so I know right now, when it comes to injuries right now, when it comes to being able to completely grasp maybe a new offense, a new defense, teams are trying to figure out. So just real quick, going back to the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, he has a completely new offensive coordinator again this year. So I know, you have the receivers that want the football. Everybody wants the football. But trying to be able to see how the system works, how you can maximize that system. He took plenty of risks this game.
Yep.
Just to see if it'll work. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of the one-on-one balls, it did work. He had a deep pass to Devontae Smith.
Yep.
He had a couple of passes, of course, to A.J. Brown, you know what I mean, that did really well. Whenever he took that risk, throwing those big, huge rainbows, you know what I mean? And it worked, but it's just the fact they're still trying to figure out that offense. But, yeah, with the I'm about to say, so with Buffalo, though, Buffalo, they took an L. But you know what? I feel like Buffalo takes on that same energy as Baltimore Ravens. Now, we'll get to them in a second. But they play that energy, and sometimes they play down to opponent's level.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, when you was talking about, hey, we're worrying about the season, I think that's exactly what happened to the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
We're thinking about the longevity of the season.
Right.
Patriots are not really like that right now. You know what I mean? It's not Tom Brady Patriots, so it's not like we're freaking out.
Right.
We have been in a rhythm of we are the ones that are establishing the dominance in the division and everything like that. But it came back to bite them in the butt last night.
For sure.
It was unfortunate, but hey, a win is a win, and sometimes those type of wins, especially with is it Mike Fabrel that coaches for the Patriots.
Yep.
He a dog.
He is.
Okay. And so
tough nose.
So you got that tough nose just like that coach that coaches for Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
When you got those like Dan Campbell, when you got those type of coaches that are in line,
they ain't gonna take your foot off the gas.
They're not. And when they have a young team and they beat a team like that, that's the type of stuff that may come back and bite you in the butt though. Because those teams that have the talent but they're still young and they're trying to figure it out, when they beat you, that only gets their talent and their confidence like catapulted even faster.
For sure.
Right now.
For sure.
So
definitely you got to be careful. Since you brought up Baltimore, swinging on over there.
Man,
swinging on over there.
Baltimore has so many injuries right now.
Yeah, man.
And it's unfortunate because the head of the snake is not there, and that's Lamar Jackson.
For sure.
Lamar Jackson is going to be out for probably another 2 weeks because you can't take a hamstring for granted, especially because he's an actual dual threat quarterback that naturally has to move on instincts
to get rhythm. Yeah.
To get rhythm, and so it's not even about doing a straight line sprint. It's the east and west of really having to explode and move, where that hamstring has to activate every single time. So therefore, what you have right now is the head of the snake that's not there. You have injuries, and you have a team that looks flat out defeated.
And they're one-sided. One-sided. Without Lamar there, stop the run.
Yes.
As a defense, hey, we gonna just stop the run. That's it. Can't beat us in the air.
No.
We load that box.
That's literally what's happening. I've seen Cooper Rush had to try to throw. He made a few good plays, Zay Flowers and company and stuff out there, but he can only do so much because that offense is designed for a dynamic quarterback.
For sure.
And whenever you take that dynamic away and you put it back into what I like to call factory settings, that's what you see. That's literally what it was a factory setting of resetting the Baltimore Ravens, like as if we had a custom setting for Lamar Jackson and we went in video game mode and we put everything back in the factory setting.
1,000%.
And that's literally what you had last night. And so here's the thing. Now Baltimore's sitting at 1-4.
Yep.
Unless they go on a streak, the season is done.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because the window is getting smaller. I know they don't want to see it, but it is getting a little bit smaller because now you have wasted a season of Derrick Henry.
I think that I don't want to say it.
You're wasting the season of DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm not gonna say it yet. Yeah.
Okay. You have injuries, so those injuries on defense, they're wasting a season.
Yep.
And Lamar, you getting another year older. So I'm not saying that the window is closed. I said it's closing.
We watched this with Cam Newton.
Watch this with Cam Newton, bro.
I mean, every year it's like we're on the edge of our seat. Like, come on, because when you have a talent like Cam Newton and like Lamar Jackson, I mean, you build around that. You know what I mean? They have an opportunity every year.
Every year.
But if Derrick Henry is not getting 30 touches a game right now, they have wasted their money. They're trying to preserve and reserve all these backs. Listen, man, these are warriors. These are gladiators. This man run hills with weights on his back and trains all year round to be ready for this. He's a man amongst men. Give him the ball.
You know another thing that's tough about Baltimore right now? They're not built to win if they're down by a few touchdowns. They're not built like that because they're not a one-play explosive play. Now, it appears that way because you have a Lamar Jackson on your team. But Lamar Jackson is one person. Zay Flowers can get you an explosive play, but it's probably like a nice 20-yarder explosive play. Every once in a while, he can get you that long touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, he's a possession type of receiver.
He's a volume receiver.
He's a volume receiver, so he's not going to get you that explosive play. You're getting your explosive play out of Derrick Henry. To your point, the 30 touches, that's going to be candy. But if the other team starts scoring quick, now you slice Derrick Henry's carries in the half.
No, don't do that.
You don't, but that's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what
and
they
that's
do.
That's why they take the L.
Exactly. So you slice it in half every single time. And so it goes back to a couple of takes that we talked about a couple of takes ago where I was talking about, like, in general, like, literally, I feel like the Chiefs have the Baltimore Ravens number. It's like, why do you bring up the Chiefs and they didn't even play the Chiefs? Because literally, the Chiefs are an example of a Baltimore team that has not really done anything to develop their offense a little bit more explosively. Like, for example, you got Lamar Jackson, a lot of slot scat back receivers that I truly love. But he has no big body receiver he can throw it to. You give him big body tight ends, but tight ends come as a result because they're naturally big bodies. But he needs a big body wideout.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that.
Yeah.
He needs that wideout as a security blanket too. And he doesn't have that. So it's like, oh, well, Lamar's hurt. How could that have helped yesterday's loss, that blowout? When you have someone that you can just throw it up to, that makes it where you can move the chains. So then you can go back to establishing the dominance of Derrick Henry. So then he can impose his will on you, and then he can make those explosive plays. Now you can slow down the game again. But when you don't have that, but you have a Zay Flowers, you have a LeJohntay Wester, you know what I mean? You have those type of slot receivers. It's great, but when you can have a big body possession receiver on the outside, now he becomes a big body pest for defensive teams because they have to plan a little bit more differently. And now that box really isn't truly stacked up anymore because you still got a big threat on the outside.
1,000%.
If you throw a slot route, the thing is that just like a pursuit drill, the defense can get to the pursuit fast. Mm-hmm. So jailbreaks probably ain't going to work.
No.
Bubble screens probably ain't going to work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
But whenever you're doing some like hitches or post corners or even like a just straight up seam route with a big body receiver and you got the tight ends as a security blanket, now the offense is a little more explosive no matter who's at quarterback. But they take that out because they're so locked into we want speedy receivers to get the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands fast so that way they can be kind of like mini Lamar Jacksons.
Yep.
And we're going to let Lamar Jackson be Lamar Jackson. Now, all chips in when Lamar Jackson's there, but when he's not here in this example, this is what you're seeing right now.
Man, and it makes my head hurt. It makes my head hurt when I see certain teams, right, struggle. And really teams that shouldn't be struggling.
Yes.
They have a solid defense. The defense is good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They're good enough. They're not elite, but the defense is good enough. You have weapons. They've spent the past 2-3 seasons trying to get as many weapons, weapon acquisition. They have weapons.
Yes.
This is 100%, in my opinion, on the coaches. Regardless of Lamar and the pressure and how he operates under pressure, if you have that talent that gets you here and he's MVP caliber every season, you work around his pressure. You give him a break. You say, hey, man, we know our guy. When it's all on, chips on him, man, he just gets a little too anxious in his mind. Let's make some changes to help him out. Feel me? And other than that, what are you doing as a coach? Just riding on the talent? You just sitting back, just letting the talent just take you where you need to go? No. It's for one of those critical moments when the talent is kind of struggling. You figure out ways to help them out. You still got Zay Flowers. You got DeAndre Hopkins. You got Bateman. I forgot about LaJohntay Wester. You got Mark Andrews. And you got the king, Derrick Henry.
Yep.
I don't give a damn who's at the quarterback position. Cooper Rush is an easy pass maker. He is not a game breaker or a big play maker, but he is an easy pass maker. Put LaJohntay West fast ass in the slot, run him rampant on them linebackers, and get the ball out of his hands in 3 seconds. The O-line is not the same O-line they were last year. I don't know what happened. I have no idea who's injured, who's hurt, or who they interchanged, or who retired, or what. But that O-line is not the same O-line. They don't have the time. They have 3 seconds. The ball needs to come out of Cooper Rush's hands in 3 seconds. And you know what Cooper Rush is good at? Making the easy pass. We watched him do that at Dallas year after year after year. He's great at making the easy throw. Okay? 3 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. Down the field, reading the defensive coverage, he's a little bit predictable. That ain't his game.
Yeah.
Change the playbook around. Use your talent. You got a volume, arguably one of the best volume receivers that this game has seen in DeAndre Hopkins because it's sure hands. He's going to catch it where you throw it at his kneecap, his toenail, or you throw it 10 feet above him. He's going to figure out a way to bing, 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 and bring it in, right? You just got to get it around him. He's going to pull it in. That's what kind of guy DeAndre Hopkins is. Volume. LaJohntay Wester. Get him running and gunning, moving that defense around. And now you open it up for what? They forget about, oh, damn, we got Zay Flowers. We forget about that Lamborghini. Now when you pepper, send Zay on that go route, bam, throw it up, let him do what he do.
Yes.
Oh, now the defense got to back up. Like, oh, damn, we forgot about all these weapons. And you know, as soon as what happens when they back up and they stop that blitz package? You let the king put on his crown. And you try to get him the ball in space so that he can go one-on-one with people. Because if the O-line ain't it, he can't even get out the backfield. So they trying to run up the gut. They trying to keep it honest. Let's just, hey, you got to just keep it honest. Run it up the gut. Run it off tackle. You ain't got the line for that. I don't care what the guys should be doing. It's about what they are doing. They ain't doing it. And coaches, it makes my head hurt when I see coaches, you said this last week, fail to adjust to what the team is giving you.
Yes.
It ain't about, hey, we just got to run here and execute. That's all it is. What are they giving you?
Yes.
Are we executing? No, we're not.
Yes.
They're not. Change it up. Change it up. Get Derrick out of the backfield. Get him to pass at 2 yards. Put him on a slant. Get the ball in space so he can turn around one-on-one and do what he does best, which is run through people. You feel me?
No, I'm with
you. Off of that.
No. I was thinking about this running back for the Baltimore Ravens that they just activated. I think he just got back healthy, and they started using him yesterday. And they use him more, to try to get more dynamic runs in the running game outside of Derrick Henry. I think
that's why you pay for Derrick Henry. You don't need nobody else.
I feel like they did that just because Derrick Henry's had a few fumbles, stuff like that. But that's
you gotta ride with your guy, man. You gotta ride with him, man. Shoot. If you want to ride when he's close to 2,000 yards, you gotta ride with him when he's struggling, man. You gotta ride with him.
Yeah.
Can't yank him and give him 7 touches just because you gotta ride with your guy.
Yeah, you do. But I'll tell you this. I was looking at that game. Yeah, what's his name? Keaton Mitchell. That's his name. Keaton Mitchell. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell. So that was running back that came in. Yeah, he got. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell. Yeah, he had a couple of carries, but he didn't do too much. But they try to get him going a little bit.
You play running back. You know how important the rhythm is.
Rhythm is huge.
And you know how important faith is. You know what I'm saying? You know how important it is to come to the sideline knowing that you just messed up and your coach still looking in your eye like, hey, man, you my guy. You got it. We ain't going to stop feeding you. Come on. You know how important that is.
I was looking at, so you have Zay Flowers had 5 receptions for 72 yards. D-Hop had 2 for 45. But Cooper Rush only had 179 yards passing when it comes to all those weapons that you was talking about. So I'm just looking at now what happened. Now, I'll tell you another thing. As I was watching Nick Chubb is starting to tote that pill really good for Houston. Houston looked like they found a rhythm. But you know what? I'm not going to say they found a rhythm. I feel like they are in situations right now that it's unfortunate that teams they played are dealing with injuries.
Right.
And so they are getting a chance to build their confidence. Like, C.J. Stroud looking good right now, too.
Yeah, he needed that, though.
Yeah, definitely needed that.
He needed that in his third year. Like, because last year was tough.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them for not having to face some juggernauts early, so they can actually build up their confidence. Speaking of confidence, man, that Tampa Bay Seattle game was pretty exciting. I don't know if you had a chance to check it out.
That's the one that I did not get a chance to check
Sam
out.
Darnold and your boy Baker was going back at it. Bing, bing, bing. I'll speak on it for 2 seconds. The impressive part about that game wasn't necessarily the shootout, because we expect the Seahawks. Sam Darnold's been looking good for them, right? He's been delivering the ball. Got Cooper Kupp, Smith and Jigba. He's got 2 running backs that are doing their thing, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker. Like, they're doing their thing, right?
They got some talent.
He's got a solid tight end, Barton, you know what I mean? They got a backup, Arroyo, young rookie. So they got some weapons on offense. That wasn't that big impressive. What was impressive was Seattle defense is some dogs. You was talking about them. Seattle defense is stout.
Yeah.
Now, when you come in and you play in Tampa Bay's coming into their house, coming up to Seattle, okay, and they're injury riddled all over the place. Mike Evans is out. I think they had Chris Godwin and Igbuga. I think that's how you say his name. Emeka Egbuka.
The Ohio State Buckeye receivers just going crazy. But yeah, go ahead though. Sorry, they got the best receiver. I don't know who's the receiver coach. I don't know what program they got going on. I don't know what type of recruiting system they got. Ohio State, but they produce dogs.
And LSU.
Yeah, LSU too.
Yeah,
LSU too. But Ohio State right now, as far as the pool of dogs right now, that's coming out like the new age dogs. Yeah, it's Ohio State for sure.
You ain't lying. The Booger, man, he's unstoppable.
Man,
that's what he's showing you. He's showing you, man, he's got that young engine in him. And they just can't mess with it. Mm-hmm. It don't matter what matchup he's against. This is what, the 5th game in a row. He just done what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying?
He had did he have like 163 yards receiving, 7 receptions, something like that?
And you know it. Chris Evans is out. Yeah, you got 2 receivers to worry about. Godwin and Ebola.
Yeah.
What? Cade Otton is big. And he's a good possession guy, but he's not fast. He ain't going to just open it up. You know what I'm saying? But he's huge. I mean, and they still got Rashee Rice. I mean, the competitiveness of Baker Mayfield to just take a blow, boom, and come out there with his guys. Whoever it is, whoever's up, who's up, okay, and come out there and just get out the pocket, get in the pocket, run, do what needs to be done at the right time, at the right throw, at the right time, at the right play, at the right time, for them to come back and get the dub on a field goal kick at the last second against that defense with an injury riddled offense. Anyway, it was very impressive. But a lot of talk right now is like Baker Mayfield, he's playing like an MVP. Quality candidate. And I think, we should. I mean, it's only 5 weeks, but for now, he's playing exceptionally well. And that was an exciting game to watch.
Bro. 5 weeks, and 2 of them games, he had comeback wins.
Come on now.
So I didn't get to see this game yesterday. Yeah. But how I've been watching him from week to week,
he look just the same.
He looks like the Oklahoma Sooner Baker Mayfield.
That's what he look like.
And so what's happening is they gave him the keys, was it last season or the year before?
Yep.
And it was almost like they pre-gave him the keys to rent out.
Yep.
Just to see if he could drive the car. He could drive the car out after Tom Brady, right? Yeah. But then he's like, nah, I'm going to take these keys. I'm going to wash this car. I'm going to keep it clean. And I'm going to make sure I'm going to take care of it. And I'm going to learn about this vehicle from year to year. And the vehicle is the Tampa Bay Bucks, the organization, the team unity, and everything. You can tell the whole team is around him. Mm-hmm. And now his confidence is up because it's like, oh, I'm not a blanket or security blanket or a Band-Aid for this team. Y'all are not trying to keep me here until y'all go draft a quarterback. I really am that guy. So what happens is they have allowed for him to express his confidence and literally make yourself at home type of Baker. And now we're seeing that legit Baker. I'm upset that I got to miss this game because I went to sleep.
Yeah.
But I tell you one thing about Baker. He's going to have them so successful. Just wait. So Emeka Egbuka is doing that right now, right? Yeah. We already know they've been having a very, very good, great defense. That was established. That was already taken from whenever Tom Brady was there, right? Because they had a great defense time. So when Baker came in there, that's the reason why they still kind of went to the playoffs. Yep. So everything's already set up. But when you add a dynamic player like Emeka Egbuka, right? Another explosive player to help out Baker whenever he gets in scrambling situations. They have a great running game. And then wait till Mike Evans get back. They're going to be one of them type of teams where
you don't want to see the playoffs.
No, because they're going to probably get healthier as the season goes versus it being the opposite way.
You don't want to see them in the playoffs.
Man.
You don't want to see them in the playoffs.
And that's a rookie out there.
Oof. Man.
That's a rookie out there, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, doing that confidently. Speaking of rookies,
Yeah.
Cam Ward and Tennessee got their first dub.
Damn.
Yay.
Hey.
They got their first dub.
Yes, they did.
They got their first dub.
Yes, they did. Yes, they
did. It was
did.
a little bit fluky. We'll see.
But that's how
anyway,
it go.
But hey, luck shines on everybody.
Yes, it does.
Okay,
yes,
so
it does.
we gonna give credit where it's due, and I'm gonna give credit where it's due because the young man is a leader at his young age, and if you're willing to come out and make a statement like he made last week and call out his team, and I mean, his publicist gonna have to talk to him about how to say certain choose words. But to come out and call out your team and also take ownership and stand 10 toes on your own play and say it starts with me. And then to come out and to compete in a game. And towards the end of the game is what impressed me the most. He had some big throws to Calvin Ridley. Some humongous throws that the average quarterback, trust and believe, would not be able to do. And that's the difference between going home with that L or actually putting your team in a position to where you can kick the field goal and win the game. It's the difference of poise, okay, and being able to say, no matter how far we down, running out the pocket, zap, he threw that ball like a bullet right between two defenders. Bam, Calvin really caught that thing. Boom. Then to turn around, wham, and just throw a dot, rainbow, effortlessly. He just flicked it all the way down the field. Bam!
Y'all reception.
Woo!
I was looking, I said, look, this is what I liked about the way he played in this game. I like the fact, well, first, he's been doing it all game, but it's the surrounding pieces of what I liked how they played in this game as well. His O-line gave him some time on that drive.
Oh, yeah.
He had a couple of dinks and dunks with Tony Pollard.
Yep.
He let him do his thing. He had a nice little throw to his tight end. I don't know how to pronounce his name. What's his name? Okwonoko. He had a nice little throw to him.
Tight end's nice.
Tight end's nice, right? Then he threw one to Calvin Ridley on 38-yard reception. Now, here's the thing. He throws that bad boy. Look at the O-line on that play. They literally had it staged and caged out where they allow for him to use his divine talent that he already naturally has. And you literally can see just,
let's call fighting.
Man.
Fourth quarter, you tired, your back hurt, your knee probably banged up, your toe stepped on,
what?
Your hand blacked up, you know what I'm saying? Your nails, your fingers probably dead,
but you're here.
You still holding.
But you're here.
You're just like, man, we're going to give our guy another time. That's when you believe in who's back there.
Yes, dog.
And you like, I'm tired and banged up, but we just got to give our guy just a little bit of time.
Man, and what you see is, because I know we get, it, as a fan of football, it's easy to get fixated on, you know, your Patrick Mahomes. You see how he gunslings. Your Josh Allen's, you see how he gunslings. But you know who's in that category with that type of arm? Cam Ward, bro.
Better.
Yeah, he's getting better and better.
More confident. Man,
this
is a big confidence boost.
I didn't think they was going to beat Arizona because Arizona is one of the type of teams where I've been waiting on Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray to kind of completely just gel it all the way together. But they're still kind of glitching in the matrix a little bit, trying to figure it out. But the formula is starting to get there, but it's just going to take a little time. But we're in a different time. I feel like that could have been the one that's going to catapult them. But I'm looking at that last possession. I'm like, man, whenever you give him time, and those receivers can get through their routes tree without him having to. There's one thing to pre-throw somebody open.
Right.
It's another to pre
throw
somebody open where to the point where as soon as they break, it's like, hold on, I could barely even get my second round.
You know gotta get on
you know what I mean?
You gotta hit that gear.
Yeah. Or the coverages are so tight on the one-on-ones and on the slant, he has to literally gunsling it in there where if you ain't got sticky tape or if you ain't got DeAndre Hopkins type hands,
right.
It's gonna be a long game for you, making it look like you can't catch.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because
that chest plate,
what
coming in so fast,
you better be ready.
Hey.
And see, Cam, he has that type of throw, right? Just like the other Cam, but he has that type of throw and conviction where you got to be ready. You got to be 10 toes down. You got to be locked in whenever you're trying to catch his throw.
Your eyes open.
What? And so whenever they gave him that wall, the offensive line gave him that wall, and he threw that dime, I was all like, man, I was just so happy because here's the thing. It's like, it's not like he got into there for a touchdown. After that throw to Calvin Ridley, then they started running the ball a little bit to Tony Pollard. Then all of a sudden, boom, here comes Cam. He snaps the ball. They just get it right in the middle of the field. They say, all right, kicker, we got it set up on the silver platter. bring us his dub. And lo and behold, they got that dub. I ain't seen Cam smile all year.
Say what?
I ain't seen him smile all year, bro. Until that win, bro.
That was a pivotal win. That was a fighting win.
Man.
They fought for that, man. When you with your dogs and you fighting, it feels good. It don't even matter if you won by a little bit. It don't matter if you. I was starting laughing, bro, because I was just thinking about, dog. If you're on the other side, if you're Arizona, you can't do nothing but laugh, bro. You get the interception, and then you fumble the ball.
Man.
And then they kick it around into the end zone, and then Lockett just picks it up and they get the touchdown.
It was destined for it, didn't
They're supposed to be going this way.
Yeah.
Controlling the clock, winding it out, taking knee. Oh my God. And then they kick it around. Oh.
But a win's a win.
But a win's a win, bro.
Win's a win,
you fighting scrap. Now let's swing it back over to detail, talking about culture and talking about picking up a win. I knew, the moment that they squeaked out that dub, what was it, the week before Green Bay?
No, it was Green Bay.
No, that was a tie.
Oh, yeah, that was a tie. Feel like a win, though.
Mm-hmm. They barely beat somebody, but they was on the sideline celebrating like a mug, and it was a lesser team. That we all should think that should have been more convincing of a win.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, yeah, why they celebrate, man? We barely won. But they running and Dak running and they smiling and they laughing and they doing all that kind of stuff. And I felt in my mind, I said, that type of dub right there is going to change your team.
Yeah.
I said, because when you fight and you face adversity and you fight, that's what develops a culture. That's what develops camaraderie. Not all that pretty stuff. You know what I mean? Generally, the championships come after you grit and grind out a couple seasons with your dogs. Okay, then you get that culture and that
Giants.
And they squeaked it out, right?
Yeah,
and they running and they like, we all like, man, you should beat them, man. But I saw something in them, an excitement that we haven't seen in a while, a vulnerability, almost, right? Because they shining, right? You know, big Cowboys, but it's like honestly and truly, like we haven't really won the big show in a long time, and so, you know, it's like So we see the vulnerability, and people think that it's like should be far removed, and it's like no, they are who they are. But for them to have that camaraderie, to fight back and to win, and to be excited about doing it as a unit collectively together, told me something. I said that is a culture shifting dub. Then they come back and they scrap and fight against Green Bay, a team that arguably people thought probably should convincingly come and win. Right, you got Mike as away. You got Love playing good. Boom, 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 boom. They tie that up. They show good. Boom, boom, boom. They keep it close. Then you come out yesterday and you play the Jets, okay, which generally have a pretty solid defense, and you put up big points again. That momentum from that Giant win when they climbed that ladder of offensive productivity. Then they climb that ladder of offensive productivity against Green Bay. Then they come to the Jets and they climb that ladder of offensive productivity, and Dak looking real sharp and good out there, right? Something going on in D-Town, man. That culture is starting to they stirring that pot. That culture starting to, you got Javonte Williams ain't putting that ball on the ground no more. He putting up over 100 on you. Hey, they got Jadon Blue coming back. You got a couple injuries off defense coming on through. All right.
Yeah, I tell you, I love to see it right now. So when I'm looking at Dallas right now, is first things first. Dak's confidence is through the roof, where he looks like an established. He looks like he's back into his established dominance, like how he was in Mississippi State his senior year.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, he literally has full control of the offense. He has full control of the team chemistry. How he goes, the team goes. Mm-hmm. He's back into that mentality. Right. What I mean by that. Now he's scrambling and he's running again.
Right.
Something that he hasn't did in a while, but he's running with conviction. Like, yeah, I'm going to run and I'm going to talk my talk. Yep. Like, I'm that convinced that I am better than you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's like that now. And so what's happening is you have that. So CD's out right now. But then you have Brian Flanoy. Right, so let's talk about him real quick, okay? I don't know where he came from, but I know that what him and Dak's been brewing in during practice has literally just came into fruition in the game because they look like they've been playing with each other for years. Okay, he is a great wideout that's on the outside, on the opposite side of George Pickens, and they complement each other so well and it's almost like as if you almost forget CeeDee Lamb on the team the way the offense was running or was passing yesterday.
Now imagine when he comes back.
Exactly. When you were talking about injuries getting better through time and people getting healthier, I mean. So you have that. So then here, another thing I was looking at was, to your point with Javonte Williams, he isn't fumbling anymore. So that pot is stirring. But my thing is, Javonte Williams, that offensive line, the run game for Dallas is the running offensive linemen, the way they run block is so great right now. Javonte Williams is getting a lot of open holes, but he's getting enough space where he can utilize his God-given talent and break those tackles too. So he's breaking tackles naturally. That's very slept on, because when Ezekiel was breaking them tackles, the fans was like, ooh and on. Ezekiel Elliott is such a great dynamic back, but I don't think people are not seeing that the tradition that Dallas has when it comes to establishing a legit running game is back. Because Javonte Williams is doing his thing. He's a tough, hard-nosed running back. And so when you have Jaden Blue, whenever he gets his confidence and gets to his rhythm and he gets good and healthy, his natural talents is going to complement Javonte Williams. You got Jake Ferguson doing his thing. Jake Ferguson ain't scored a touchdown in like a year, bro. And he got himself a solid touchdown, which was really good. He had two of them, actually. Two serious touchdowns. Now, here's the thing that I like but dislike about Dallas.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they are getting good penetration inside of the trenches to the quarterback in Justin Fields. What I don't like is the fact that right there in between the B gaps on both sides of the center, right there, they are struggling. I don't know what it is, because Breece Hall was breaking straight down the seam so many times. It's a level of concern that I have going forward, because it's not just about the Jets and it's not about Breece Hall, because we all know what kind of running back Breece Hall is. I don't care what kind of defense you have, he's going to break it. It's just the fact that it was straight down the pipeline that makes me a little nervous. Because going forward, they're slightly going to have to fix that problem. Because straight down the middle, that's not Dallas Cowboys football. We all know traditionally, Dallas Cowboys defense bends but never breaks. We know that type of stuff. So they can sometimes have these type of situations, but I do want them to clean that up. I do want them to clean up, because they need to do that. But I'll tell you this.
That's what you get paid for.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They got to figure that out, because that was a good win, but that was not a very good Jets football team, unfortunately. I was looking at the situation. I was watching Justin Fields. Justin Fields, it's either two things, because I love his talent.
Oh, yeah.
I love his talent.
Me too.
But it's two things, because we got to get to one more take, and that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns, if you don't mind. And the reason why is because I want to compare Justin Fields with Dylan Gabriel, believe it or not.
Getting the ball out of his hands? I already know.
Because the thing is, I was like, Justin Fields not getting the ball out of his hands, but is the coach, offensive coordinator, put in position to get the ball out of his hands the right way? Because what I'm seeing, the reason why I keep looking this way right now is not because I'm looking this way just because I'm trying to look away.
Right.
It's because if we was the quarterback right here, they're throwing the ball this way, bruh.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, you're trying to get quick check downs. You're trying to protect him. You're not throwing nothing this way. And the problem is that when the defense figures you out, they're like, oh, that's all you're doing?
I said cover two.
We're cover to it, and we're going to wrap that up.
Come on, man.
And so what happens is, so now you got them 3 and outs. The offense of the Cowboys is so explosive, and I'm very proud of what they're doing, by the way. But they're so explosive that they blew them out. So it's like, oh, well, hold on. You couldn't keep up. So, the score was 37-22. That's because they softened the load those last couple of touchdowns. So I'm not going to even account.
Garbage time touchdown,
I'm not going to count, oh, well, he made good throws then. No. It's either he made good throws then, or the offensive coordinator for the Jets finally realized, hey, we got to open up the playbook a little bit more, but it was a little too late. It's one of the two. I'm going to leave that on them, because they're a professional organization. They got it. Well, all I'm saying is they got to put Justin Fields in a better position. I truly believe so. I don't know what it is, but I kind of feel bad for the brother right now, because I really feel like he could be in a better situation to make better plays. Now, I will say this. If that is completely to his strengths, then we know what we have. But if it's not completely to his strengths, then they need to fix that for him and for the team, because they have too much talent on that team, and you're also wasting a legit, and what I can feel like is a potential Hall of Famer in the future in Breece Hall at running back.
Yep.
He has Hall of Fame potential
Yep.
because the way he runs the football, and you're wasting his skill set right now.
You know, two things, and then we're gonna swing it over to Cleveland. So you think about Dallas and that defensive front right there in the middle. My answer to that, from my experience, would be stunts. Change it up, mix it up, right? If they don't found a gap in your defense, they found a couple guys that they can push around. Change it up right before the snap count. Ready, hey! Had them big boys moving around, switching up them puzzle pieces. So then, oh snap! Oh, I thought I had him. Oh, now we got the defensive end. Oh, he's fast and long. Change it up. Put 6'5" on somebody, right? Then put the 6'2" heavy boy. Then that boy that don't get in much, but he 400 pounds, look like a meatball. Put him in there a couple times, right? Let him lean on him. Give him a play and then let him run off the field, right?
Yeah.
Use your personnel, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Change them blitz packages,
Yes,
right?
bro.
Spread your linebackers out and then right before the snap count, run them in and then blitz up the middle.
Yes.
Change it up so they can stop being one-dimensional, thinking, oh, man, we done found the seam. Okay, bet. Yeah, you think you found the seam. Say ready. Whoop, the whole defense changed. I did like, oh, check. We be real. All the BS, right? Switch it up, man. You got to change it up. That's how the game is played. That's why coaches get paid money. You're not a millionaire for no reason. Earn your money.
Yep.
These guys are warriors, but the other guy gets paid too. Sometimes the guy is just stronger and bigger. Earn your money, coaches.
Yes.
You don't ever get talked about in the media. We don't never know their names, but they're making the calls. We always talk about the players. Earn your money, coaches.
Yes.
That's why you're getting paid so much. If it wasn't that important, they wouldn't be paying you millions of dollars. Okay? You're getting paid to make those adjustments. Make them. Okay. Now, talking about the Jets. Justin Fields, if he's not getting over 50 yards rushing every single game, they're not using the way he needs to be used. He is not your traditional quarterback. He is a running back who has a great cannon of an arm.
Yeah.
He needs to run. Period. That's going to open up his game. I would start running him early and often. First quarter, we put 50 yards from the quarterback on your back. Period. We're going to make you adjust to that, and now we're going to open it up for him to throw that pill. But you know what a running quarterback's going to do for you? When you have that, not everybody can do that. I looked at for the LA Chargers. Who's your boy?
Justin Herbert.
I looked at Justin Herbert yesterday. Man, he had a breakaway run. Man, if he had a little bit more shake, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He's a good runner. He's a big body. He ain't quite got a little. If he had a little bit more shake to hit that little guy with a beep beep, touchdown, right? You know what I'm saying? You have that in Justin Fields. He's a running back with an arm. If you get him in open field, you probably got a touchdown. They need to use him running first, like Cam Newton. Was Cam Newton's career shortened? Yes, but he's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer, and he will go down as one of the best to do it. That's the type of guy you got in Justin Fields. If you don't want that, go get somebody else.
It's part of the sport.
He is not a Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He is not going to be in the game 20 years. Okay? He's a runner. He's going to have to put his body on the line. That's just who he is. So allow him to be who he is for 8 to 10 to 12 years and be a legend and do something and make some noise and then go off and sail off in the sunset. But that's what you got, man. And I don't like when teams get these guys and don't use them for what they are. They like want them to be like this and they're like this. It's like, no, this is who he is. So if you're going to go get him and pay him and put your whole offensive trajectory around him, use him.
Yeah.
He's a runner. That's what he is.
That's what he is.
He's got to run. And he's probably more comfortable running. And probably when he's running, he gets his swag. And he probably, like you said about Dak. Yeah. What happened to Dak struggling the past 2 years? He wasn't running. He was a little banged up. Yeah. Now he's running. He feel like, hey, baby. And now you know what happens to the linebacker? Because I played. We got to spy you now. Yeah. So now I'm out of the whole coverage because I got to watch you.
Yep.
Because you might run. And so now you know what opens up? The middle of the field. Because I have to sit up here and watch you. I can't pay attention to back here. So you know what's open now?
Yes.
I can't come in post middle. Bink. You know what happens when you do that?
That deep dig.
You know what happens? Yeah, that deep dig. You know what happens when you do that? Because I did cussing the linebacker out, right? But now, you know what happens when you got that deep dig popping off? Breece Hall.
Yep.
Because now you can't blitz. Right? Now you might have to not go through a 4 front. Now you might have to get a 3 front so you put more in coverage. Now, boop. Breece Hall show you what he got. Now you got a team. Okay? Now you can use your guys, and you forget about Gus Wilson. Bam. You forget about Lazard. Like, come on, man. It's on these coaches, man. These coaches be messing up this talent. and they don't talk about it enough. That's why they get fired so quickly. You know what I mean? And people wonder why they so hard on the coaches, because it comes down to we just don't hear their names in the media, right? We talk a lot about the players every week to week to week to week to week. We don't talk about the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
If we talk more about them coaches, hold them a little bit more accountable for what they're doing with this talent and the lack of adjustments that they make in real time during the game when it matters, not just after we study and film. Get out your ego, get out your bag, get out of feeling like, nah, we should be able to do it. I'm going to stay true to the plan. Forget that plan if you get an L.
Yep.
You feel me?
I'm with you on that.
Anyway, let's swing it back over to Cleveland.
Yeah. So Cleveland played Minnesota. They played them in London. It was an 8:00 a.m. Sunday football game.
Early morning. I woke up for that.
Yeah, me too. It was actually refreshing to see a game that early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tell you this. So a couple takeaways that I'm looking at. Justin Jefferson. It don't matter who at quarterback. It don't matter who at quarterback. He really is that guy. He's, in my opinion, the best receiver in the league.
I love the way they use him.
Yeah, me too. They use him in gadget schemes. They use him in different roles when it comes to either slot, on the outside. I love everything that they're doing in Minnesota. And they have a great defense. They have a great defense out there in Minnesota. But I tell you this, I want to focus a little bit more on the Cleveland aspect against Minnesota versus going against Cleveland, this aspect. So I was looking at Cleveland, man. I tell you this, Quinshon Judkins, transfer from Ohio State. Running back's funny. I brought Ohio State again.
You thought about he's a chopper.
He's a chopper. He's like a bigger Isaiah Pacheco.
He
be chopping, don't he? Toting that pitch.
Fast too.
Man, and so what you have with Cleveland is you have a great dynamic defense and you have a great offensive running scheme, but they're still trying to figure out how they can maximize their passing. Mm-hmm. And so what you have is you had Joe Flacco that got benched for this game. Mm-hmm. And you have the rookie Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon. He goes in there and he plays. And, the first half he's actually doing pretty good, but he's doing exactly what they have Justin Fields doing out there in with the Jets with New York. And it's like all these short passes, check downs, and it's almost like they was trying to make his completion percentage look good so he looks like a really efficient quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that's not on him. Okay, that's not on him because those are the play calls. But what happens is over time, that stuff will only get you it's only going to get you out of a quarter of a game. Yeah. So that quarter could be the first quarter or the third quarter, but I know for sure it won't be the second or the fourth because the coach is going to figure you out by then. Mm-hmm. And so all I'm looking at in that situation, I was like, they had chances to win that game if they could throw the ball deep, but it was just unfortunate because when he was throwing the ball, he was overthrowing his receivers, but a lot of times was because the times that they had him sitting in the pocket is whenever the defensive line made it so more challenging for him to throw the ball because now he had to throw at a different motion. A lot of quarterbacks, tall defensive linemen, got to throw over the top.
For sure.
He's lefty, although he throws over the top, it's kind of like,
for sure.
It's kind of launching like this. So what happens is it's launching this way instead of over. Mm-hmm. And so he's throwing his receivers out of bounds every time the ball is sailing over them about 7 yards over. And so that's the part where Cleveland's going to have to figure out something when it comes to either putting him in position to be able to get these throws out to, like to the Jared Judys of the world.
For sure.
He got David Njoku on a few check downs and he threw Fannin for a touchdown. The other tight end, the hybrid tight end that we talking about out of Bowling Green, the rookie. Mm-hmm. He threw it to him really well and stuff too, but it was a lot of just short stuff. Anything that's thrown downfield, I hope they make adjustments because I hate to see a team also like them with so much talent and in a division that's banged up with, because you forget they're in the same division as the Cincinnati Bengals. They're banged up. Mm-hmm. They're in the same division as the Baltimore Ravens. They banged up.
They're going to have to get those dubs.
They play Pittsburgh next week, who are in the same division.
It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be a tough one, but they still have a chance to get to Aaron Rodgers because their D-line is so good that if they can get to A-Rod, they can prevent A-Rod to get the ball to DK Metcalf because they got the DBs to be able to cover a DK Metcalf. That doesn't mean that they're going to lock down a DK Metcalf, but they have enough where they ain't going to just be – you ain't going to just put up a whole bunch of points. You never put up points like that.
Low-scoring game.
Low-scoring game. But what I'm looking at is this can't be a rebuild season for a team with that much talent. They got to come with it. But I will say this. I don't know if it's the system.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz looks like Carson Wentz again.
Because
what I like about Carson Wentz was seeing the field really well. He was giving receivers a chance. But when the play broke down, he didn't break down with the play. I'm gonna say that again.
It's maturity.
Big maturity. The play breakdown, he didn't